We are still seeing lots of news from Iraq on educating the citizens in many areas. One biggie is the census. This level of census has never been conducted since the 2003 invasion. Lots has changed since. This census is also part of the Article 140 in the process of determining the shares of the excess oil revenue streams to be divided up to the citizens as part of the Hydrogen Carbon Law, HCL. This is also better known as the Oil and Gas Law. Yes, the GOI does plan to administer oil profit shares to the citizens much like they do in the Saudi and Kuwait. Iraq has a lot of things that start happening on Monday. Wrapping up the census, and the parliament says they will start voting on important laws on Monday. Many believe this includes the HCL. Iraqi parliament resumes session on Monday with important laws. These are controversial laws they have been tackling, and a number of my sources believe the HCL law is in there. That along with the census this coming week, so they can release the new rate. We all hope this is accurate. Most of my contacts expect a phenomenal Thanksgiving, or before. We had some information that came from here in the United States of people that have boots on the ground, in Iraq. When I say boots on the ground, I mean literally boots on the ground. Having some of that information is key because they called today and said proudly that they affirmed they got information from the source in the military. These guys are talking on TV, not just Channel 1 or Channel 3 but many sources. They're talking about helping the citizens. They're going to bring them purchasing power. Monetary reform education right now is at a very high peak where we can see very clearly. Sadani intentions are very clear. Purchasing power is but only one of many things that he's bringing to you Iraqi citizens, and the rest of the world will benefit from that generosity. Al-Hindawi, the preliminary results of the population census will appear next week, and Iraq is preparing for a comprehensive database. The Central Bank of Iraq sells more than $894 million in 3 days. This is where they sell US dollars and take Iraqi dinar off the streets. That is an enormous chunk of IQD out of circulation. They are clearly preparing for something big to support the value of their currency. I don't want you to get excited and think we're rich already, because we're not yet. Remember what I always say, in January things always happen in January with Iraq. It can happen before. It can happen after too. But I have a strong belief January we're going to see very good news. High Commission for Census, the second phase of the census has ended and the results will be announced this week. When they change the value of their currency, things will become cheaper. The bottom line is, if they raise the value, let's say they come back to where they were before it was shut off during the Saddam Hussein era at around $3.22, they'll be able to pay for a lot of products and materials for a lot cheaper. That is going to be a powerful thing. That's going to be a benefit to purchasing power, to the citizens. When they change the value of their currency, things will become cheaper. The bottom line is, if they raise the value, let's say they come back to where they were before it was shut off during the Saddam Hussein era at around $3.22, they'll be able to pay for a lot of products and materials for a lot cheaper. That is going to be a powerful thing. That's going to be a benefit to purchasing power, to the citizens. An Iraqi movement confirmed, on Sunday, that it will lead massive popular demonstrations to cancel the agreement with America if Baghdad is bombed. The head of the Diyala Popular Movement, Ammar al-Tamimi, said in an interview with Al-Maluma, "The threats of the Zionist entity to target Baghdad will not intimidate us, and they would not have come if it were not for Washington's support for this occupying entity by all means, financially, militarily and diplomatically, to the point that it refuses to describe what is happening in Gaza as genocide, despite the fall of more than 140,000 martyrs and wounded." He added, "If Baghdad is bombed by the Zionist entity, we will take a series of immediate decisions, including leading popular demonstrations to cancel the security agreement with America, withdraw its forces directly, and escalate against any steps aimed at undermining the capabilities of the Iraqi people. He pointed out that any aggression will be responded to, and we will work to take many steps within the framework of a vision that contributes to defending the homeland. It is noteworthy that the Zionist entity has threatened several times recently to target Baghdad as part of its efforts to create more tension in the Middle East through bombing and aggression. The Ministry of Planning announced, today, Sunday, the start of the third and final phase of the population census. A statement by the ministry received by Al-Maluma Agency stated that the head of the General Authority for Statistics and Geographic Information Systems, Dayawat Kazim, announced the start of the third phase of the general population census, which will continue until the 10th of next month.